welcome to today's Growth Through Movement webinar. We are so glad that you could join us for today's event. As I was looking through the registrations, I saw that there are folks joining us from all over the world, and we are just thrilled. Today's webinar will be recorded and will be sent to you right after the event, so just sit back and enjoy the show. As we get settled, you might notice that on the side of your screen, there's the chat feature. And you can add questions there or comments as we go along with the presentation. At the end, we are going to have a $250 Growth Through Movement gift certificate giveaway, and we are going to use the chat responses to pick a winner. So go ahead and use that chat as we move along. You can get started on that chat feature. Actually, why don't you let us know what brings you here today? Are you a parent joining us, a therapist, maybe a coach, or another interested professional? Add in the chat why you're here. I'd like to take a quick minute before we get started with our main content to share with you a small peek at our timeline that brought us here today. The company Tumble Track was founded in 1988, and our headquarters is in Michigan, right there in the middle of the mitten. We are looking forward to celebrating 40 years soon. We've enjoyed seeing our equipment be used by coaches, athletes, and families in gymnastics, cheerleading, dance, martial arts, all over the world. And in 2014, we opened a UK division in Cardiff, Wales, to better serve our international customers. In the most recent decade, though, plus, we began to hear from pediatric therapists who had found our equipment, and they have taught us so many special ways that they work with our products in their clinics. And speaking of therapists, I am so happy to introduce to you Robin Hellmann. She's tuning in from her clinic, Spark Pediatric OT in Connecticut. Robin comes to us with 20 years experience in pediatric OT. She got her master's from NYU, and she has advanced training in sensory processing, neuromotor development, and reflux. Robin, we're so glad to have you here today. I am so excited for folks to see your content.
Thank you.
So Leah and I will jump off the stage, and I hope everyone enjoys the presentation. We'll see you afterwards.
Hi, good morning, and thank you all for joining me. I'm so excited to be hosting this webinar for Grow with Movement. I love working with their equipment, and I love being a pediatric occupational therapist. And my hope for you today is that you take away of just a few ideas to use in your own practices, or if you're parents in your own homes, in ways to play in a sensory integrative way to help the children that you're raising or that you're working with. So I always start off with, what is occupational therapy? Occupations are the things you do that occupy your time. And if we think about our clients, we really want to always go back to the basics, which is, what are their occupations? And a lot of that really depends on and is related to their age and their stage in life, what's interesting to them, what we expect from them developmentally, and can we do our treatment sessions and play in a way that's therapeutic to help our clients really be able to fully participate in what we expect or what they want to be the occupations of their life. When things are going great, it can look like this. We have attentive dogs here. They're waiting, they're listening, they're waiting for directions, they're happy, they're ready to play, they're grounded and they're organized. And that's not always, and that's not really life, but I just love this picture because I feel like when things are going great, there you have it. And again, we're thinking about what should our clients be doing developmentally. And if they're not, we want to be detectives. So what are their hobbies and their interests? What are their personal goals? And what are the family's goals? I always ask that when I'm interviewing parents for an intake call. What's important to you as a family? What would make things feel easier for you at home or in the community, at birthday parties, at a restaurant, transitioning to and from school or activities? And when things are not going as one would hope, or when there's something that's comes up, it can look like this. It can look like an inappropriate grasp, an immature grasp, and it can look like this video. This is a client who I saw many years ago. She is old enough now to have given me her own permission to use this video. She's in college. She's doing great. But this is kind of what it looks like. This is what we're getting. Switch, 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 switch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That little girl really wanted to participate in her dance class, and that's just one video of what we were working on a long time ago. So in thinking about what are the child's occupations, what's important to them, to their family, developmentally, what we expect from them, we really have to think about what are the underlying factors. And then I can start to address those areas in our treatment sessions. If we're thinking about, is there a strength issue? Is there a stability issue? Does it stem from hand strength, core strength, muscle tone? If it's visual, is it tracking? Is it the way I'm perceiving, the child's perceiving information? Is it their convergence? And there's more to it. I'm just giving you like the tip of the iceberg here. If it's vestibular, is it their registration, their postural control? Is it impacting something vestibular, impacting their level of arousal and their ability to attend or hold themselves upright at the chair, at the table? If it's motor planning or coordination, is it body awareness? Is it ideation? I don't know what to do. Is it poor execution? I have an idea, but I'm not executing it well. Is it poor problem solving? I have the idea, I've executed the movement, but I can't figure out how to make it better or just right. So your first takeaway for today is something, it's not a recipe really, but I use these ideas throughout all of my treatment sessions, almost all of the time, especially if I've got a client who's really disorganized or if I'm not really sure where to start. I always think, how can I offer deep pressure, heavy work, prone extension, supine flexion, and then work on a functional task. Sometimes I'll even do the functional task first and then do a series of these activities and then go back and do the functional task and see, does it look better? Does it feel easier? Is everybody having a little more fun? This guy loves deep pressure. He would come to me after school, and I found that our best sessions were when we figured out a way for him to be under a lot of weight. He would set it up. You can't see what's inside the fitness wheel really, but it's, I think, a 10-pound weighted blanket. There's probably a few medicine balls in there. Everything on him is weighted. He's so happy. And we had the best OT sessions if we just started it like this. And we'd often switch it up. Sometimes he'd want me to be under there and he'd do all the heavy work, layering up the whatever was going to be on top of me. Takeaway number 2, how can we offer the just right challenge? If you're an OT, you've heard this a million times already, but it really never fails. And that's really the art of the work we do. Is it challenging enough how we're playing that it's going to be motivating, but is it not too hard that the child's going to be discouraged and quit or, run and hide? So here are some videos of a few parts of a treatment session with this guy. We work a lot on strength, a lot on the visual motor tracking, and it's a great example of the Just Right challenge that played out in this OT session. He's reaching for some, these are Velcroed, like things that you can throw to a target. And he was so happy. There was so much joy. That wasn't his first attempt. He really had to work at that. That was like the end result, but he worked at it. He stuck with it. He was so motivated to get one of those to stick on the Velcro all the way across the room. And he felt so proud of himself when he did that. And this is another heavy work example. I love setting the air barrel at an incline. I do this with little guys, big kids. He is working so hard. If you're working on the Babinski reflex, it's a great activity. You can see those toes as he was climbing up. But it's really hard to get to the top of that. I hang it in a couple different ways, but that angle, and it also, I've done it myself, but you're really getting quite a lot of that anti-gravity flexion and core work when you're climbing up at that angle. I don't offer a tremendous amount of help. I really let them do the work. And your takeaway number 3 is, in addition to deep pressure, heavy work, prone extension, supine flexion, and the functional task, would be, can you incorporate visual, auditory, and vestibular within the context of the activity you're doing? This doesn't always happen simultaneously, but when I'm really thinking about a disorganized nervous system, offering any opportunity where I can get all 3 of these sensory systems working together simultaneously can be really beneficial. So I try to just be mindful of that when I can. If they're on a swing, can I, offer which beanbag do you want to grab for? Oh, red. And then, so we're doing something, or I might give a direction, or we do a lot of, wait for the magic word. And then, so trying to get the auditory, the visual, and the vestibular all together. So this is a great OT session. This child was working with me on sustained attention, regulation. She's a real sensory seeker and has a very hard time sitting still. And so I'm going to take you through, she walked in, it was after school, she sat down, and she was working on a paper and pencil task. And we're going to just really pay attention to her feet and her body movement in this video. She requested to sit on that sit and move cushion. I didn't offer it to her, but it was out for the offering. She's definitely got her feet going in the bands. I think we're going to watch it. I think this one may play twice. She's really wiggling there. Up and down. It's not a disruptive amount of movement, but I was thinking about it because she's moving quite a lot. And after she was sitting and moving and wiggling, she got to, go back for a minute, Carrie. She's up on her knees, then she's standing. And again, this isn't so disruptive. Like in the classroom, this isn't going to she's not really bothering anyone, but I was curious, can she sit still longer? Would that be nice for her? So I'm going to take you through her treatment session. A little bit of heavy work, dragging the air barrel from one room to the other. It's not a lot of heavy work, but it's a little bit. Then I'm going to get her up. I think the next video is, okay, we're going to do some deep pressure. It's slow. It's really slower than you think it is. All right, ready, Carrie? You can go. And she's just, you're going to see her face in a minute. She loves this. And I often do this with a yoga ball or a big physio ball. But the kids seem to really like the air barrel lately, and they'll request that. I'll give them a choice. Oh, let's do some smooshes. How do you want it done? And they'll pick this. And I'm putting some weight down, some deep pressure as I'm rolling that over her. And I'll do both sides. Sometimes I just, push in 1, 2, 3. And sometimes I roll over the whole body. And in this case, I got her on top of it and just did some rhythmic movement because she seemed to like it. Look at her face there. It's like a different kid. She's so relaxed. I'm like thinking, is this boring? Like, how long does she want to be on here? But I really try to let it be child directed. And if this is working and she's seems really to be taking it in and enjoying it, I'll go with it as long as they really need me to, longer than I even maybe would have thought. And then we did some heavy work. I call this the pushing game, that first picture. And we usually have a couple rounds, and I do not always let them win. I always win at least one or two. So we did the pushing game, and then this next video, I did some rolling with resistance to build up some proprioceptive awareness while incorporating the visual. I think we're going to go back to that one, Carrie. Can you go back a slide? All right, so here she is rolling, and I am going to provide just a little bit of resistance. It's hard with the camera on. The kids tend to know when I'm videotaping them. And it's hard to tell, but so she's rolling, but I'm not just letting her push. I'm really giving a little bit of resistance. And you can see as she comes up, we get a little bit of flexion there, anti-gravity flexion. She's pushing, and I did it in both directions. All right, I think we can go to the next one. So we didn't just go this way. I also had her turn around and we did it the other way as well. So we get both sides of the body and we get a little bit of vestibular in different directions. Then we got on top of the air barrel and she does a little bilateral coordination with some hand strengthening, just some pulling. And then we did, I think we can go to the next one. I did some supine flexion just to get it in there before we moved on to back to the tabletop. And now let's watch her again. Now she came back in the room. We had only done maybe like a little bit of the worksheet, so I left the same one on the table. Everything's the same. She still chose the chair with the TheraBand at the bottom, but she did not ask for the sit and move cushion. So what I did was in the first video, I think she wanted it under her feet. She's not sitting on it, but then I thought, well, was she moving around so much in the first video because she was sitting on the sit and move cushion? So I offered it to her for a little bit more at the end. So you'll see two videos, and this is at the end of our OT session. Maybe there was, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes left. And this is her still working on it while she's back on the sit and move cushion. And you can see the amount of movement is significantly less. She's just got a calmer body. And again, I don't think that the level of movement was tremendous at the beginning or disruptive, but I do like to see that she can sit with a calm body. And I'm curious what that's like for her as a learner and as a student. In this session, we work on balance. This child falls a lot. Regulation, can be very disorganized with movement. Likes things his way. He always has a great idea, but he wants you to do his idea. And we're working on proprioceptive awareness, body in space, especially in preparation for fine motor activities, which he really is not that interested in. And if offered up at the start of the OT session, he's not going to want to do it. So he happened to walk into a session where I had set up the Carrie, I'm losing the word all of a sudden. Can you help me, Carrie? The power launch. So we had the power launch on the floor. I happened to throw a big crash pad on top of it and tied some Lycra to it. And I had just, I don't know, set it up that way. Something else I do a lot in OT sessions is offer activities that are the same but different. So we're using the same piece of equipment in all kinds of different ways. And I think this is a real gift to our clients and to our children, if you're a parent on here, offering up something familiar in a way it's never been used before. So I had this set up, and this is how he chose to use it. I think maybe Pop the Pig was nearby and he wanted to put it under there, and so I just went with it. And he's getting really, he's going to go right in there. And I think I told him there may be some hamburgers in there to feed the pig. And this is a child that doesn't really, sit still for long, and he loves it in there.
Where are you?
He's very happy, looking for those hamburgers. And now he's in there, and I'm going to give him a little deep pressure. The heavy work was actually getting into the light grunt, climbing over the crash pad. And this was a great way for us to extend the play. He's so happy. And after we did some work over there, I was able to then take him to the chalkboard and do some fine motor. I don't know, we were putting something in cages. I think we drew some cages, and he wanted to help and draw the vertical lines down, which was a real age appropriate functional task for him. That is not something he loves to do. And he was so into it. And I think he was just really organized, and he knew where his body was, and he could use those hands for a fine motor task in a way that he really couldn't when he first walked in. Okay, this is a real little guy, and when I first met him, he wasn't walking, and so we've done a lot of motor planning and coordination and building strength. And now he's walking, but I want to slow him down, and I'm often looking for ways to keep him crawling, so that he's still working on that bilateral skill, working on a visual area that we're really focused on. And something is that he was a very happy tummy time baby, but does not love laying on his back in a supine posture. So whenever I can offer some opportunity for that in the form of play and extend it, I offer that to him. So here we're going to play a little bit. He's so much fun. He's a very delightful little guy, lets me do everything. So here I'm slowly tipping him down, and I'm working on some anti-gravity flexion, but in the lateral on each side. And again, you're going to see it in one direction, but I'll always offer both. Kaboom. And right onto his belly, but there he's on his back. And since he's there and he's happy, this is not the beginning of this OT session. We had done some work before. I'll offer some joint compressions and some engagement and interaction just to keep him on his back a little bit longer in a way that looks relaxed and comfortable. Carrie, I'm not sure. Can we hear the volume on this? I'm not sure. I'm not hearing it on my end.
Oh, sorry, Robin. We turned the volume down a little bit. I don't have a way
Okay.
to turn it up. But
No, that's okay. I don't want to be talking over it if there's something to hear, but since I couldn't hear it, I'll keep talking. Also, while I had him on his back, I thought it was a great opportunity to get in there and do some Babinski work, and that worked out really well in that way. So after we did that, I got him back on, I turned him around, did it the other way, and we played a little bit more like this. Again, this is with the power launch. It's still set up the way it was with that other little boy. This guy's working on upper body strength, bilateral motor skills, regulation, and attention. He loves the game perfection. He chose to do it over here. It was a great opportunity to give him some deep pressure while also working on upper body weight bearing. And the pieces are set up that way. I'm sure we played it a few rounds. I could move the pieces around so that he could weight bear on one side, then weight bear on the other. I think at some point I probably even offered him 2 pieces at a time to get some prone extension. In this session, we're working on ideation, praxis, frustration tolerance, and hand strength. I find there are children who just don't know what to do. And so when something's set up, or if they're asked to do something, the answer is often no. But given the opportunity to play in a way that's novel on this kind of equipment that looks fun and interesting, you can get so much more out of your OT sessions. So in this video, he had to figure out how to be successful at this activity. And You don't hear him say it because it happens sooner. I was starting to offer some ideas, and he said, "No, wait, I can figure it out. I want to try my idea." And for me to hear that language, I want to try my idea, was the whole gift of this OT session. So here and we're working on hand strengthening, upper body weight bearing. We'll take it to a fine motor task after, but here we go. So he's getting the upper body weight bearing. He's got to do the timing, the sequence. He's got to really figure it out. It's another example of the Just Right challenge. There, he's so happy he got them. I love it. If you're working on a tonic labyrinthine, a TLR reflex, things like this is a great setup. In this OT session, we're working on strength, balance, reciprocity, and there was another client. He's not going to be seen in this video, but there's a lot of work on pragmatic language between this little boy and another little boy that happens to overlap in their time. So this was some preparatory work. It's similar to the little guy when I was doing before with that anti-gravity flexion, but this is incorporating his own idea. So we can watch this. I don't know if you'll hear the video, but he wanted to be a kind of truck. You can press play, Carrie. And I'm going to offer it to him. I think we decided, he said he would be a concrete mixer or a cement truck. So I said, okay, we're going to slowly pour the concrete. First, we have to mix it. And again, I'm giving some slow rhythmic movement. And then as I tip him over, he's really got to work on that anti-gravity flexion. He's got to hold on to the air barrel. He's having a great time. And there we go. Hold on, hold on. There we go. And then we would do it again, both sides. I always do everything both sides for the vestibular component and to get that input to both sides of the body. And this was a functional task that we did at the end of the OT session. Matt Man, he does a lot of drawing pictures with the legs coming off the head, which I always think is telling, but we got it. This is a little boy, just finished up his OT. We worked a lot on the Moro reflex and the TLR. He had very poor tolerance for anything unexpected. So unexpected sounds, plans, movement, poor tolerance for games like Pop the Pig, Pop Up Pirate, Perfection, things like that. Family goals, and his goal was to advance in his swimming class. And in order to do that, he had to be able to do a back float, which is very tricky for somebody who has still a retained TLR. And he graduated to the next level in swimming, and he graduated from OT, and it was a real success story, and everybody felt really good about it. So we had this set up. Carrie, you can press play. I can talk over it a little bit. Or you can hear it. What is it?
A sea floater.
A sea floater?
A boulder.
A boater? What is it? A boulder? What am I watching out for? So he tells me it's a giant germ and it's come to get you. A giant germ is coming. Which gives me an opportunity to chase him with the giant germ, which works on the Moro. And then as I rolled that over him, I gave him some deep pressure. I think we had been playing under the sea. The whole was a boat, and eventually there's stuff that goes on under the boat. But I just love that. Do we have that to play twice, Carrie? What is it?
A sea floater.
A sea floater?
A boulder.
A boater? What is it? A boulder? What am I watching out for?
A giant germ.
A giant germ is coming to get you! And so again, playing that way with the unexpected, the chase is so great for integrating the Moro reflex. And he's having a great time. He's laughing. He feels safe here. And he initiated it. He chased me first. So I felt like it was an invitation to offer that back. And then I think in the next picture, oh, okay, good. I love this. So I often use the fitness wheel. We use it so many ways. We use it as a trampoline. In this case, kids love, we smush 3 yoga balls in there and they love the deep pressure. They love to look for things in there. It's wonderful for climbing over and getting some upper body weight bearing, bilateral coordination and heavy work, especially into the upper body and the hands. It's great for balance. It's super bouncy. He really wanted to go in there and get some deep pressure. So he goes in there, gets some deep pressure. And then this was one of his last OT sessions with me. I had the air barrel hung at an incline and he climbed up and he was willing to tolerate this activity, which is amazing. Okay, we can press play. Pile of mud. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
All by yourself? You want a little help? Okay, oh, I got you. Ready? And there you go. And that's great for Moro integration. It was so brave for this boy. He would have never done that. He, I think even climbing a ladder at the playground was a tricky thing. I'm thinking about head movement, falling backwards. So obviously this is not, I think, like I just met you today kind of OT session activity, but we have a great relationship and there's a lot of trust that's been established and we've played around with these kinds of challenges. And he got so much heavy work and deep pressure leading up to this activity. He was really ready for it. And I think at some point in this OT session, after he was doing some of this, I heard him say something like, I'm so strong and I can do scary things, or I can do hard, that kind of very positive self-talk, which was just beautiful to hear. And then I think after we did all of this, we took it to the table and played, I think it was Pop-Up Pirate. Is that the next picture? We did. He likes to play Pop-Up Pirate. I think if we had a sea themed or a dinosaur themed thing, he likes it better with something smaller in there than the actual pirate. But awesome. He could sit and play the whole game multiple times, tolerating that surprise ending, which was great. So I just wanted to show a few more pictures and videos of the Just Right challenge and the functional task and how it doesn't always look like sitting at the table or at the chalkboard and doing the fine motor work. In that last little bit that I showed with that little boy, the Just Right challenge really was, can I sit and play a game that kids my age play that has that element of surprise? In this case, this little girl, we work on impulse control, waiting. So this was set up with the power launch in an incline. We used it a bunch of different ways. I also offer up in this activity a cognitive, an executive functioning task. Okay.
All right, remember 2 feet. Nice jump. Oh, we forgot to look at what ingredient.
She's supposed to look at the ingredient, remember it, do the jump, and then come get it. Sometimes
Okay,
we'll
so back
do
up. All right, remember 2 feet. Nice
we
jump.
can do 2 bolsters one at a time, so
Oh,
they have to jump.
We forgot
jump.
to look at what ingredient.
We could do when you least expect it. Another thing I love to do with the power launch at an incline, and I don't have a video of this, is we have a barrel and they can get inside the barrel and roll down. Sometimes if we have 2 children overlapping at their times, one will roll the barrel up to the top and help hold it while the other child climbs in and scrunches up and rolls down. It's a great vestibular activity. It's great, again, for getting a nice deep breath if you want to integrate the Moro. It's a great heavy work. Again, I don't have that on a video, and you can do it lots of different ways with lots of different levels of an incline, but the power launch is really such a versatile piece of equipment. We use it in so many different ways. And this little guy is, he's 3, he'll be 4 in a couple months. He has very poor ideation right now. When he doesn't know what to do, he runs out the door at school, at OT, at the playground, everywhere. His play skills are lacking. We're working on developing his play skills, sustaining his attention, reciprocity during play. And I have found that one of the best ways to play with this little guy is if I can containerize him a little bit. It gives him a sense of security physically. And we'll often use the fitness wheel turned upside down so it's not the trampoline, and get him in there and play. And that's the functional task at the end of the session, which you'll see. But this was a beautiful OT session. So we can play the video, we can start to watch it. He loves balls. We're also working on climbing in and out of the fitness wheel feet first, in and out of the barrel, feet first. So he's not just falling. And I don't think you can hear the volume, but I'm waiting for him and he's telling me, squeeze. And this went on for a little while. And he's getting some nice deep pressure. I think he helped put the balls in initially, which was heavy work. He's pushing them out. And he can't do this without me. It's a great reciprocal joint activity for us. I think he may have done some jumping on the power launch. He loves to jump. And then our functional activity was playing Pop the Pig with Mom. And you can press play carry. This is such a great mom. She comes every session and she wants to learn, and she really models the play that we do. And I think as parents and even as clinicians, we can often get caught up in the purpose of the toy. For me, this functional task was, can we sit and play without running away? Can we extend the play? And he was really interested in, where do the hamburgers go? And if you're not familiar with this toy, you put the hamburgers in the mouth, you really push the head down. There's numbers, how many, if there was 2 on the back of the hamburger, you pump his head 2 times. And eventually his belly pops open because he eats so many hamburgers. He was not interested in that. He was really interested in, where do the hamburgers go? But he is sitting and playing in a way that, first of all, would not happen at the beginning of the OT session, and would not happen, I think, even outside of being a little bit containerized in that way. So he's not just lining up the hamburgers, but he's doing something. He is playing with this toy in a really purposeful way, and it's meaningful to him and to his mom. Yesterday he came in and his mom said, we need to learn to scooter, and they brought their scooter, and we did our whole OT session and finished it in the waiting area and then outside with him on his scooter. And so really anything can be the functional task if it's purposeful and meaningful to the child and to the family. So thank you all for being here. I hope that you've taken away a few ideas to mix it up in your own OT sessions, in your own physical therapy sessions, at home when you're playing with your own children. And again, just you can keep in mind, what's organizing for the nervous system is heavy work, deep pressure, prone extension, supine flexion, the anti-gravity postures, and then offering the functional task, incorporating vestibular and visual and auditory together when you can, and always being mindful of what could be the Just Right challenge and how you can scaffold the activities you're offering in ways that feel really genuinely interesting to your clients and that they can feel success at, that they've done something they didn't even know they could do. And using equipment any way you could possibly dream of using it, and try it yourself if you can. When I had that the air barrel at an incline, I was thinking like, I think this is getting here, but I'm going to try it. And I was like, yeah, okay, it is. It's getting what I wanted to get out of it. I'm happy to answer any questions. And thank you again for joining us today.
Robin, this was so wonderful, and I really do like looking at the screen, a look back at your presentation, and all the creative ways that you engage with kids. It really is quite a delight to us to see our equipment used this way, and you really think so out of the box, and I just couldn't help but have a smile on my face the whole presentation watching these children work under your care. So thank you so much for sharing all of that. We do have a couple of questions that popped in. If you have others, if you're joining us and have others, please feel free to add them. We'll check in with Robin about these questions. Leah, would you like to start us off with the first question that was asked during the chat?
Sure, yeah. So I actually had a question. Can you explain how you communicate with the parents regarding taking some of these exercises and activities like at home? Like how would you suggest integrating those safely into like a home space?
That's a great question. Right. We have the luxury here. I have gymnastics flooring. It's a safe environment to do some of this. What I might do, first of all, parents are always welcome to join us in our OT sessions. And in the moment, we might say, I might ask them, how do you think you could replicate some of this at home? We often talk about using couch cushions as ways of like providing heavy work, comforters, laundry baskets. So I don't expect parents to always have this kind of equipment at home, but thinking about how can we container, like if you have a child like that last one that really benefits from being enclosed in a smaller space so that they can focus and feel physically connected to the physical world around them and they know where their body is. We talk about pool floats, right? Like what might you have at home, or what can you grab at Walmart or on Amazon that would replicate what we have here? So a pool float is a great way to containerize. Again, couch cushions and laundry baskets are wonderful tools at home for heavy work, for pushing, for pulling, and doing things like that. One of the first slides where I had that boy and he was underneath the fitness wheel with all the heavy stuff inside. At home, we call it like make a mom pizza, or and like mom might lay on the floor and the child's got to go get all the couch cushions and stack them on top of mom and push them down and maybe throw some blankets on, and that's the heavy work. And then we switch, and then the child will lay under the couch cushions. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Yeah, that's so fun.
So I have another question for you. Do you find that children you work with get excited when they see this equipment, and how long does it take them to sort of get used to the routine and structure of how to use the products safely?
That's a great question. So yeah, it's exciting, especially when a child comes in for an evaluation. When somebody comes in for an evaluation, I don't have like everything hung up. I usually have the power launch just attached to the wall, the fitness wheels probably resting upright. I try not to have too many things out. But if you're just walking in for your OT session and it's already set up from whatever the person before you is working on, kids get excited. And a great tool we use in our practice is called the Get Steady Spot. So I honestly think it's a dog pillow from IKEA that I got like 10 years ago, but they know what it is. It's bright orange. It's on the floor. And I'll say, okay, if you're waiting on the Get Steady Spot, we can look at what's up and make a plan. So a couple of things we do. The Get Steady Spot is a great spot, or some clinicians that I work with call it the waiting spot. So it's just a place to wait so your body can get steady while you're seeing what's going on, or we might want to change something. Sometimes we'll use a small, like a portable whiteboard to map it out, what's step one, what's step two, and we'll just use stick figures and draw it out while they're sitting and waiting. And I think we do a lot of checking in, like what could you do differently next time? That I think that felt scary. That didn't
Mm,
look so, that didn't look so easy, or, you know,
yeah.
we check in with them and try to help them figure out how they could do something differently. And I'll label it. I'm a big labeler. This is so exciting. You've never seen it hung this way. Sometimes it's the opposite. They come in and they're so annoyed that, you know, on the other side of the power launch, we have the climbing wall. You know, some kids are very attached to that, and, you know, it's a great way to address flexibility, right? So,
Mhm.
you know, how can you ask for what you want? Okay, let's talk about it. So,
Sure.
and in terms of how long does it take them to get used to it? I mean, when you're coming once or twice a week, they get used to the environment pretty quickly, but they're going to have their favorites. And if something's hung up in a novel way, it is exciting. And I think that's part of it, is like, can I tolerate feeling excited? Can I do that without getting too dysregulated? And then what can we do? Can we label if you're getting too excited, or too excited
Mhm.
for the moment that would not be considered appropriate to the activity, or unsafe? Can we label it, and can we figure out what your body needs right now to help you get to a more organized place so you can approach it safely, which
Sure.
is more fun.
I love that. Use it as a tool to teach them the appropriate ways to use them.
Yeah.
So Sally is an OT joining us and asked the question, what is the best equipment if you are mobile? She does daycare, schools, and homes.
Okay. Okay. I What's the best equipment if you're mobile? Lycra. You can get, I'm gonna grab something. Because I'm at my office. So this is a piece of Lycra. It's not huge. I don't know. It's 1, 2, maybe 3 feet by, I don't know. It's tied up. So it's a couple feet. I think I wish I had gotten it bigger. I think Lycra is your most versatile tool for anything. Kids love being in Lycra. It provides that proprioceptive body awareness when they're working against resistance. You can use it for tug of war. You can wrap them up in it like they're a burrito. I mean, I really think if you had one thing you could take with you anywhere, I would say Lycra.
Mm,
It's light, it's easy to carry, and
yeah.
bubbles and a balloon. I think those are like, if I had to take three things with me, that's probably what it would be. Unfortunately, it's not the bigger pieces of equipment, but
Yeah, and Robin, I can't wait to introduce you to one of our products that has Lycra. It is our most popular product. It's called the Boundex Cuddle Box. It's actually a frame that has Lycra in the center. And I don't think you have one at the clinic. Is that right?
I don't have one at the clinic. My clinic's
Yeah.
not huge, so I have to be mindful with space, but I've always
Yeah.
wanted one. Yeah.
Yeah. So the
I think it
Boundex
looks amazing.
has been popular. It does break down, but it is definitely work to break it down for mobile use, Sally. But also, you know, some of our inflatable equipment, it does deflate and end up being pretty small and compact. We have a lot of programs that are gymnastics related that do mobile, and they pack things into, you can't imagine what they can pack into a Prius.
Carrie, I don't have one at my gym, but I do think you guys offer something small that's inflatable. And
Hmm.
you can bounce on it. Because I don't have one, but I've often
Yeah.
thought about what I would use it for. It looks like, I don't know, what is that called?
Yeah, we have two that I'm thinking of. One is called the Hotspot, and it is a
Yeah.
small version. It's a small round version of some of the power launch that you saw. And then the other that's very popular is the Air Bolster Mini. The Air Bolster Mini
Okay.
is a 12-inch version of the air barrel that you showed today.
Yeah,
So
that would be a great. I mean,
yeah,
I love a bolster. Yeah.
it's got a handle on it. You can bring it in your car, pop it in your car, and take it with you. Nice. Okay, and then I do see that we have a question here from Victor. Can all of these products be used for deep pressure positions? Can they be done in a crawling position as well?
Can the products or the activities?
The activities, all the activities that you're doing with deep pressure.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. So I try. So I think, like, when I talk about that deep pressure and heavy work, I'm trying to let the activities be child directed.
Hmm.
And then I'm thinking, how can I offer deep pressure and heavy work in the context of what this child's interested in doing. So when I had the power lunch on the floor with the crash pad on top of it, I think I had one kid crawl under the actual crash pad. Some of the other kids wanted to be under the Lycra, but on top of the crash pad. But anything can be used that way. We often have clients, we use it all the time, the fitness wheel, crawling around the edge of it as a balance activity. Yesterday, I had this, this is from Target, I think. It's a weighted stuffed animal. Target has a whole line now of really like not too expensive weighted stuffed animals, and this was a dragon, and he was inside the dragon's lair, and the child really had to crawl around the edge of the fitness wheel and not fall into the dragon's lair. It was you know, so we do a lot of crawling. And on the power launch, sometimes we suspend it. You can use we make like an X underneath, and we hang it from the D-rings. We like loop the daisy chains through. We crisscross it on the bottom, and they'll crawl on that while it's unstable. I'm trying. Oh, I have them crawling on the air barrel all the time.
Yeah, we saw some of that. Very nice. All right. Well, that was a lot. We have, besides this content, we have so much more available for your viewing. We are on all the social media, and we encourage you to follow us at Grow Through Movement. And of course, our website, which we're so proud of and just launched this year, is growthroughmovement.com. I also want to take a second to introduce you to Mary Beth Johnson. Mary Beth joined us just a few years ago. She is our integrative sales specialist. Here she is playing on the tumble track with her son, Forrest. And if you have any questions about the equipment that you saw here today, or just want to chat and brainstorm about how you might integrate some of this equipment into your clinic or practice, feel free to reach out to Mary Beth, and she is happy to help you. Hi, Mary Beth.
Hi, everyone. It was great to see everyone here.
Mary Beth has been behind the scenes, and she's going to help us with our $250 giveaway. She's been taking a little bit of a record of your chat responses, and she has what's an automatic number picker. Is it, Mary Beth?
Yes, it's a random name picker.
Random name drawer. Okay, so it's time to do our $250 giveaway. Mary Beth, drum roll.
Okay, and the winner is Sally. Congratulations.
Yay! Look at that, Sally. Hopefully we can find you some equipment for your mobile practice. That's so great. All right. Well, once again, Robin, this was so wonderful, and it just felt like such a treat to take a peek into your clinic and your space. And thank you so much for sharing all this great information. We really appreciate it. And thanks to everyone who joined us. If you have any questions after you view the recording, once it shows up in your email, just let us know. You can reach Robin also. You can see more of her content at her website, Pediatric OT.com.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Robin, we really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Hi, thank you.